Okay, so hello everyone and welcome to this video. And in this video, I will show you the basics of reporting for the company. So at the start of the day, the first thing that you should do is log into hipchat.com. So go to hipchat.com and you will be given your own username and password. So in HipChat, this is where the team is, and on the left side you can go to the different areas. There's the company area called Woo Assist. There's the other areas, and there's also the client work area. So most of the time, this is where the team will be communicating. And the second thing you should do is go inside your email and then check for new emails there. You will be receiving notifications in your email, and those notifications will come from HipChat, will come from the other project management tools that we're using, Kanban Flow. It will come from Asana, but they will all go to your email. So they're either in your inbox or in your spam box. So at the start of each day, you want to check, if you missed any instructions or if there's any new instructions, because sometimes there are messages in HipChat that you forgot to read. You will be notified here. And there's new messages in Kanban Flow. You're going to be notified here. There's new messages that's going to be in Asana, and you are going to be notified in your email. So I'm just going to do that real quick. So I'm looking for HipChat, Kanban Flow, Kanban Flow. Okay, I'm just skimming it really quick. So another Kanban Flow. So there's around 3. And then here's some tasks from Asana, some overdue tasks. So these things, you want to keep a to-do list. And I usually, you can use anything. I usually put my to-do lists in Excel. But you can use Notepad, whatever you want. And at the start of the day, you want to write down what your plan is for the day, because we're gonna post this in Asana. So 26 April 2017. So this is the start of day report, and what it is, it's a really brief summary. So you want to keep this really short and straight to the point. What you want here, you don't want to become too detailed. So in the start of day report, you just want a summary, and it's just headings. So for example, I'm gonna go inside Kanban Flow to check what's actually happening here. And by the way, you're gonna be given your own username and password in Kanban Flow. And as you notice here, once you log in, you can click on the drop down and then do a Control F or find. So it went here in the upper. I'm using Opera, so it's the find is going here. So just type your name and then search for it. And then you click on your name, and then it's going to show you the tasks that's assigned for you. And so these are the tasks that are currently assigned to me. And mostly the ones that will arrive in Kanban Flow are web development tasks. So if you are a web developer, then chances are you will be working on Kanban Flow a lot. And it's a really simple software to use. And most of the tasks will come from your to-do list here. And if there are any priorities, they put it here in the priority tab. So those are assigned by the project managers. So we have several project managers because we have so many projects. And then once you're done with your priority, what you do is you just drag this. You just drag this and put that under for review. Or once you're doing it, put it in progress. Okay. And then once that's done, put it under for review. Okay. And then the project manager will go in and review it. And then if that's okay, they're going to put it under done. Now you can also click on this task card in Kanban Flow. And then what you do is you can read the description here. Most of the time you will be working in general here, general, and then you'll see the description. You can update the time here. You can add hours or minutes that you work on it. So just add to it. Don't bring it back to zero. Just add to it. And then files, go to the file section. There's no files here, so you can also go to the comments section and you can see, what's been going on here. And then once you see something, once something is assigned to you and then there's a comment here, you just need to reply. So at that person to notify that person through email, and then reply to her or him. So Marian is one of the ones that are managing the projects. So just click on add comment. And for every email or for every message that's addressed to you in HipChat, in Kanban Flow, and in Asana, you just need to reply, okay, got this, working on it. If they have a question, then just answer that question. And that's very important. That's part of our standard operating procedures. And then for this one, I'm going to go back to general. You want to copy it in your daily report. And then you want to copy also the URL. So I just copied the title and click on tools here at the bottom and click on task URL. So copy that and it will just give you the link. So you can paste it here in your start of day report. And what this does is it just makes it very easy on our bosses, or on the project manager, on the owner of the company to check, what are you working on? Okay. So that's done. Then I'm going to check on Asana if there's anything. Asana, actually this one, I already put it in my report. Okay. And then there's a lot of clients here. If you click on the drop down, most of the time you don't really need to look at them unless you're assigned a task that's related. And then, for example, if you're assigned Samson Ian project, and then you don't know, what's the login, where do you go? What you do is just click here, do a Control F or find, and then type the name of the client, Samson. So it appeared here, so just click on it. And then you will see all the logins. You will see all the logins. So here are the logins here. cPanel, WordPress admin. And if you're not familiar with cPanel, there's a video in YouTube. So just look at the video. How do you use cPanel? If you're not familiar with WordPress admin, you can also go to YouTube and just type there WordPress admin tutorials. So you don't need to look at the other orders. You just need to go for the logins and then go back to your your own Kanban Flow area. Now I'm just going to show you what it looks like for the other web developers, because they have a lot more to-dos here in Kanban Flow. So this is what it looks like for Carl, who is one of the web developers here. And he has a lot of to-dos every day. And you can see here that he noted the time. And you note the time by updating that here, time spent. Okay. So every day, your goal is that you will be working on tasks like this for at least 6 hours every day. So you can report 6 hours per day. And the reason for that is because for every hour that you work, the company is charging its clients. So, to maximize the profits, you want to make sure that the total hours that you work on the client projects, the many clients that we are serving, it totals 6 hours. So for example, yesterday, these were the things that I worked on, and then the total hours that I work on is 6 hours. So we have an area for that, and I'm going to give you the link for that. If not, then please ask for it. Um, we have an area for that where at the end of the day, we write down how many hours we work on client projects that day. And these are the things that are billed to the company's clients, but you will be paid for doing administrative tasks, but that's not counted here. Okay. So example of administrative tasks, you are studying, uh, you are studying unrelated tasks, or you are reading the standard operating procedures. Those are the administrative tasks. Or you are still familiarizing with Kanban flow, you're familiarizing with Asana, you're exploring HipChat, you're reading a book that was assigned to you that's not client work. So those are examples of non-billed hours. This one, it's only the billed hours, meaning the company clients will be billed for it. So for example, each day I might be working 8 hours, but only 6 hours go to the billed hours. I will still be paid 8 hours, but it's important to work on your Kanban flow tasks, and the total time, if possible, is 6 hours. And at the start, that may not be possible because you are still familiarizing with Asana, with HipChat, with Kanban flow. You're still familiarizing with things, and that's okay. But do aim in the next few days that you can reach 6 hours each day. Okay, so since I don't really have a lot of new tasks in my email, I have some old tasks that I did not finish the way I do it. And again, you don't have to do it this way, but just to explain to you, the blue colored ones are the things that I've already finished. The red ones are not yet done, and the green ones I just moved it or rescheduled. So that's why you see the colors here: the blue, the red, not yet done. And then yeah, I have a couple of pending tasks in red. So I'm just gonna grab those and put that in my start of day report. And by the way, this file, this Excel file that you're seeing right now, I don't send this as a report. This is just my personal copy. What I just send is just the start of day report and the end of day report. And then, I update the billing hours here. As I work, I just put the hours there. And then this is actually done. And then these are all my pending tasks. And it's okay to have a lot of pending tasks that are not done, but what's important is that you have a list somewhere, maybe in Excel or in Word document or in Notepad. So that's up to you. So I'm just gonna transfer this in my start of day report, and then I'm gonna review it a little bit. So one of my assignments is to read a book. This is an admin task and is non-billable to the Woo Assist clients, but we are gonna get paid for it. So Nick gave me a book to read, just an electronic copy called Lean Startup for Entrepreneurs. And then, yeah, I've got some other tasks here that were assigned, in the previous days. So you can see that for every task that I have, I usually link it to the particular Asana or HipChat account, HipChat page or Kanban flow page. Okay. So this is done. So I'm just checking to make sure there's no duplicates. And this one, yeah, I already put that at the top. Okay. And I just remember there's a new project assigned to me. Because my work is not strictly in the web development. And recently I've been assigned projects on search engine optimization, on marketing, on AdWords. But if you're a web developer, mostly you will just receive web developer tasks. Okay, so and then at the end of my to-do list, I have a reminder here that at the end of the day, I need to update the billable hours. Yeah, actually, you need to put the billable hours at the top. I think I forgot to do that yesterday. So this is Asana, by the way, and I know that this can feel overwhelming at first, but you can just watch the video again and then just familiarize with HipChat, uh, working with Kanban Flow, working with Asana, and it's all connected to your email. And then click on in Asana, by the way, on the upper right, you can switch to the different projects. And then most of the time you will be working on the all sites. So just click on all sites here and click on, in your new tasks, you have on daily reporting. And one of the things, please don't add a task here unless you are authorized, unless the project manager or Nick tells you to add one. Then don't add a task here. Most of the things that you need to say will usually go in the comments or in HipChat, okay? Because they get confused when the project managers might get confused if you add a task. So actually here, I forgot to add billable hours. Forgot to add, so I'm just gonna note it down. Billable hours yesterday, 6 hours. Added in Google Docs too. Oh, that's okay. And then click on comment. And then, because I forgot to read this reminder yesterday. And then here is the link to the Google Docs billable hours. So I'll probably send you this one. That was the Excel spreadsheet online that you saw, where you put in the how many hours you worked for that day. And then, okay, so this is just for me because I handle some marketing projects. And then once a week, before Friday ends, you want to check the hours that are updated by the project managers and the virtual assistants. So you're not the one who is going to update this. Someone else is updating this, because at the end of each day, there is a person aside from you who is assigned with totaling, how many hours you work for that day. So, they're going to total this, they're going to total this, that time that you put in Asana. And that's where, this is where they update it. And another purpose for this is you can see, that you have worked 8 hours per day, or if you have not worked 8 hours per day, like 7 hours, you can make up for it like in the next few days or within the week. So in this example, I have a time to make up 0.08. Yeah, so the one updating this is currently, I think, Sheila, but that may change because it's different people being assigned on doing different stuff sometimes. So it's just an example. Okay. And if your name is not on here yet, don't worry about it. Okay. So it looks like, let me see, the visit, this one. Actually, I took a leave here. And then for this week, there's still no tally. Okay. So I'm just going to close this. I just wanted you to show that someone is tracking our hours. But if, you can't meet the hours, that's fine. Just try to make up for it to the best of your ability. And then, so far we've talked about HipChat, we've talked about Kanban Flow, we've also talked about Asana. So let's now talk about, doing your daily reporting. So just click on your daily reporting. It's under your new tasks, under all sites. And you copy it from, wherever you're tracking your reports. Just copy it. And if you paste it directly here, like in my case, the formatting is weird, so I need to delete it. And I need to put it first in a notepad file. Okay. I'm just going to put it here. And just going to format it a little bit. Start of day report. And then I'm just going to read through it one more time, just to make sure that, there's nothing wrong that's put there. So I just did that, and then it's too long. Okay, I'm just gonna delete the other things that are too descriptive. It's too long. It needs to be just really short, and then if there's a link, then put a link there. And then pending tasks, training, lean startup, and this is a project. This one is another project. Okay. Okay. CO projects. And this one is too detailed. So I'm just gonna remove some of that. And these are some other trainings. And for our trainings, by the way, we are authorized to do 20% of our time is spent on training, as long as you meet the billable hours, and you will be paid for any training time that you do. You can ask your project manager for, if they recommend any book or books. So in this case, I researched one book that I could use. That's Perry Marshall, Guide to AdWords, and then the company provided this book, Getting Things Done, a PDF copy of it, and then it's just a reminder for me at the end, and then I'm just gonna delete this. Okay, and that's basically it for the start of day report. So I'm just gonna click on comment, and that's it. So this is where the start of day, this is how the start of day report looks like. And then once you start working, you want to just note down. And what I'm gonna do actually is I'm gonna copy this, so I have a copy in case, something happens and this gets deleted. And this is optional. You don't need to do this, but I'm just a bit paranoid or prepared for, accidents that might happen. So I just put it here, start of day report. And then in my report, I just change it to end of day report. And then the only difference is I start putting the time here. So I started around 9:50 a.m. And what I did there, I just noted down. Organize emails, organize to-do lists, respond to emails, and then I'm about done 10:40 a.m. So these are the non-billable hours to the Woo Assist clients, but you will be paid for this. But just don't add this in the billable hours, because that's what the company bills to its many clients. And so I'm gonna start working on the next task, which is to quick check on Samson Ian, resolve malicious activity. So 10:40 a.m. to And again, you don't have to make it, exact, like it's 10:38. It's just an estimate. It just makes it much easier to tally things at the end. So I'm now proceeding to the first task, and this task is a billable hour. So what I do is I'm just gonna copy my formula here, and you don't have to do it this way. This is just my way of doing things. I delete the yesterday's tasks, yesterday's hours, and then I add here Samson Ian. And again, I don't send this type of report. I don't send it. I just send the total. Because your end of day report, at the top of it, you will be putting total billing hours, and you have to have at least 6 hours. Okay, so this is just an example. When you send your end of day report, again, you copy it. You make sure that the formatting looks good. You can, if it doesn't look good, put it on Notepad first, copy that, and then paste it here in the daily reporting. So both the start of day reporting and the end of day reporting should be placed here in the under your new task and then the daily reporting tab. Okay. So I'm just gonna show you a bit, what it's like to work on one of the projects. At least that will give you a better idea. So Samson Ian, and again, the logins, you can go to the Samson Ian project just by searching here on the drop down. There's also a search. There's also a search here below, but I'm not sure if that's gonna work. Yeah, it seems like the search below using this tool here at the bottom will only show you what you're currently looking at right now. So that's the problem with that. So you need to actually jump to the different projects here. And then Samson Ian, resolve malicious activity. And I'm just going to tell you a little bit about this project. Originally, this website got infected by a virus, and then the owner noticed that there was a problem. So what we did was we cleaned up the website. We just installed a plugin in WordPress called WordFence Security, and then I just read about it in Google, and then I just followed the instructions, and then the plugin cleaned up the files. Okay, and then I submitted this here in Kanban Flow. I dragged it to the done column, and then after a few days, the client responded that it was the wrong site that's now showing, and the reason for that was because the virus deleted the one of the files in WordPress, and so it's using the wrong database. But it's actually just a simple fix. It's just a matter of switching to the right database. So I sent them a screenshot. Here are the databases. Which database do you think? So here are the databases. There's about 9 databases in PHPMyAdmin that's inside cPanel. Again, if you're not familiar with this, you can go to YouTube, and then there's a lot of tutorials there. Just type PHPMyAdmin tutorial. So there's 9 databases here, and then I checked each one down, and it seemed only 2 databases contained the fis-uk.eu website in it. So I recommended this to the client. I took a screenshot. And what we use for screenshots, you can use anything, but if you don't know any screenshot tools, you can search in Google for Jing. TechSmith Jing, it's a free screenshot tool. You can also use what do you call that? Greenshot. So Jing is very easy to use. Once you have it installed, just run it. And then I'm just going to show you real quick. So this is Jing, and it's just going to start loading. And you will know that Jing is now working because you know, it's going to show up in your desktop as a small icon, yellow icon. So here it is on the right side of my computer screen. Okay, still loading. Yeah, and I don't think Jing works with the recording tool that I'm using right now. So maybe that's why it's not working. Let me try. Oh yeah, there it is. So if you hover over it, you will be given 3 choices. Okay, so the first choice is to capture. The second choice is history. The third choice is more. I'm not sure if you're seeing this or if the recording software I'm using is conflicting with it. I hope you're seeing what I'm seeing. So just click on the first choice and you can highlight any area of the screen that you want to capture. So just click on capture image and you can click on the options on the left. You can draw an arrow, you can add the text, you can draw a box, you can change the color, and you can type on the text. And then you can upload it. The first choice on the lower left is to upload it on Screencast. So once you upload it, you're gonna be given a link that you can copy paste wherever you want. So the link will look something like this. And if you open that link, it will show you a picture, yeah, like this. So that's what it is. Or you could also choose to copy the picture and you can paste it in Word document or wherever you want to paste it. But most of the time, I just use the share via screencast. So I have the link, and then it takes a while. So I'm just going to show you. It takes a while for it to upload. And then sometimes, if you are doing many screenshots at the time, you have to make sure that you wait for it to finish upload, and then if you copy paste that link anywhere, make sure it's a different link than the previous one, because one of the most common mistakes that I made was I'm copy pasting the link, but it's the old link. It hasn't updated with the new link yet. And that's only in the case that you have many screenshots all at once. And that's just a tip. Actually, that's not part of the training, but that's just a little tip. And then if you take another screenshot, do the same process, and then make sure that it's a different link. So in this case, it's the same link. So, and if ever you accidentally close the Jing area that you're working on, and you did not get the link, you can always right-click on the Jing icon in your taskbar and then click on history. So this was a little trick that I didn't know before. So when I forgot to copy the link, I had to do it all over again. It was a waste of time. But this is another tip. You don't need to know this, but it's just a little bonus. You can see here the previous files, and you can just click on it and click on view. Okay, click on view, and then you can upload it again. Unfortunately, you can't get the link. I don't think you can get the link for this again, but just share it again, upload it, and then, or you can edit it however you want, or you can copy it or save it. You can also save it as a picture or JPEG file. So you can share it via screencast and wait for it to upload. And this is gonna give me a new different link. That's just in case I forgot to copy the URL. And I'm just gonna go back again in Samson Ian, the task here. And at least this will give you a little bit of an idea what's involved in the actual work and what I do, how I update the time after. And okay, so I'm just gonna get the login from the project area in Kanban Flow. So again, I did a Control F. I searched for Ian Samson, and then I log in using this. And also, I I'm a bit paranoid. This is just something that I do. I create a folder for anything that I'm working on. And for example, Samson Ian, then I make sure to copy the logins here. I create a login account here, and I put a number 00, every time I add a new task at 0102, and this just serves as my backup because, there are usually unforeseen circumstances that I've encountered in the last how many years. So I really need to have a backup of the information. And we're just going to log in. One unforeseen situation is someone accidentally deletes one character here and there's no other copy, right? And that's very possible. If a cat accidentally types on your keyboard and presses the delete key, you lose the login. And just go inside. And I hope that this video is helping, because when I started in this company, there were no videos. There were no guides. I had no idea how to use Kanban Flow. I had no idea how to use Asana. And that was just 3 weeks ago. So I was just in this company 3 weeks ago. And, I didn't even know how it was supposed to look like, the daily reporting, that it was supposed to go here in the comments. I didn't know that. So I hope this video will help you get jump started, because this video did not exist before. And the previous people who came in the company had trouble too. And I know that you may feel overwhelmed at this point because there's so many things to know and to learn, but this is actually it. Once you're done with this video, then you've seen everything. You've seen the processes, you've seen what the normal day is like, and you've learned a lot that most of the other team members were not taught how to do. So this will give you an advantage. It will give you an unfair advantage because, you can get started really fast. And so I'm inside the cPanel, and everything looks different. Every company, this is hosted in VidaHost, and there's a lot more companies out there. There's GoDaddy, there's WP Engine, there's HostGator, there's HostMonster. You can never know them all. So it's not expected for us to know everything, but what we can do is just explore. So right now we are looking for the cPanel, and after it took me a while to find the cPanel. Even now, I don't actually remember it exactly because this is a totally new site. VidaHost is a totally new platform for me. So I usually go to, let's say, domains. We're looking for the website called fis-uk.eu. It's a financial website. Financial or fiscal, something like that. So my first problem when I first came here was it was not even here. It's not in the list of website, and that's practically all. So what's up? So I had to transfer to another section, maybe in the services. It's not in the domains, maybe it's in the services. And this is where I found it. There's the medium plan and the SSL. SSL stands for security. And then it's so I thought that since it's not SSL, it's not about security, it's probably here in the medium plan. So I didn't really know, so I just click on it. And that's where I found the choices that would take me to the cPanel. Not really. How did I get there? That was weird because yesterday this was working. Maybe I shouldn't click on the link, but maybe I should click on this. Let's try that. These are the weird things, You don't have to click on the link. You click on the you click on this area here, but don't click on the link. Yeah, so I just discovered that now. So that's my point. Is you don't have to know everything. I don't even know what happened there. So this interface for me is poorly designed. They could have put something here like manage cPanel or something, manage the domain, and not build it like this. So these are some of the challenges that we are facing every day. Poorly designed interfaces. And sorry, VidaHost, but I just don't think GoDaddy is designed better. Bluehost is designed better. VidaHost, weird interface. But if I click on this area, it's going to take me to the choices. Yeah, this is what we're looking for. Log into cPanel. So this is where we manage everything. Log into cPanel. So I'm just going to click on it, close this window here. Okay. And this is what's inside the cPanel. I don't know if you're already familiar with it or if you're not. If you're not, I'll just give you a quick overview. And I know this will overwhelm you, but you're feel free to watch the video again or just rewind it a bit, review the part that you're having trouble with. And this is the cPanel. And what the cPanel does is it essentially allows you to control the settings on a computer that's on the other end of the world. So this is inside a computer in the US, maybe in Australia. So we don't know where this computer is, but chances are maybe it's in Europe. So there's a computer halfway around the world that you are controlling right now through the cPanel. And you can see the files inside that computer in the file manager. So we're going to go inside that. You can also access the databases. So if you're familiar with MySQL, you can add a database here, add the database users, and you can also see what's inside the database in the PHPMyAdmin. Again, there should be a lot of tutorials in YouTube. I'll just show you the overview and the commonly used areas, but if you want a more in-depth tutorial on cPanel, you can go to YouTube, type cPanel tutorial, and there's a lot of resources there if you want in-depth. But most of the time, you will be working with File Manager. You will be working with a backup, okay, backup wizard. So it is actually very easy to use. Just go inside and then just follow the steps there. There's a guide there once you get inside. And then the PHPMyAdmin, that's where you see the databases. And if you program in PHP and MySQL, maybe you're already familiar with this. And these are the 10 databases. And yesterday, what I did was I went inside each database. And usually the area that you look at is WP options. And you will see the site, what's the URL for this database. So this is the FIS-UK. So I went inside each of these databases, and then I went inside the WP options, just to give you a little history, what I did yesterday. So this is not the same site. And then I checked all of the databases, and I found out that the only two sites that had that URL, the correct URL, was FIS-UK EU, this one, and this one, New12. So then I created a screenshot for the client to see that, hey, do you want this or do you want this? And they did not want this, so now we're trying this database. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, and again, if you feel overwhelmed, that's okay. I'm just showing you an overview. I also felt overwhelmed in my first 3 weeks because I had no idea how to do anything. And at least you have an overview and you have something to look at, so you're not starting from zero. And you don't have to understand everything. It's perfectly okay to just go to Google and research, and go to YouTube and research, and occasionally ask me or ask one of our web developers, and you will know who our web developers are. Right now they are Anthony Ryan Garces. They also started just this month, a few weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks, I think, or 1 week. There's Carl Badeo, started about the same time as me, just 3 weeks ago. And we should have another one, forgot the name. And then our project managers and the virtual assistants of the company are Sheila, there's Rob, and there's also John Fabros, who is on a vacation right now. And the CEO is Nick from Australia. So Nick is an Australian, and then most of the time, you won't need to talk to Nick unless he approaches you, because he's very, very busy. So don't try to consume any of his time. Okay, so that's just a little tip. If you need anything, ask the project managers. Most of the time, don't ask Nick. Okay, that's a very good, and that was a thing that I didn't learn early on. They didn't tell me that, and so I talked to Nick, and then Nick had to talk to me about, hey, my time is very important, and I have a lot of things to do. So it's very important not to bother Nick with your tasks, because the truth is Nick doesn't watch over any of these projects anymore. He is totally free from the web development project, so you don't have to talk to him. It's the project managers who are handling all of these projects. And then this is, by the way, when I clicked on File Manager, this new window opened, or this new tab opened, and this is the File Manager. If you're not yet familiar with it, there's also a tutorial in YouTube, but I'll show you an overview. And in the File Manager, you can see the public HTML, and the public HTML that contains the files, the HTML files, the PHP files, the JavaScript files that are made public. These can be seen all over the world. So just go inside, and you will see a lot of folders. You will see a lot of files. You will also see the backups. And if you want to back up anything before you make a change, let's say I'm going to change the wp-config file, that PHP, just as an example, just right click on it and then click on compress. So that's how you back up something, and then just put a name, maybe a date, 2017 04 26, and click compress file. Okay, so just compressed, and just click on reload to make sure that you're seeing the updated version. Click on reload and then wp-config. So here it is. In case you make a mistake, at least you can restore it. But let me see. I'm just gonna edit the config file now. Okay, so this is a different skill. And again, you don't need to know this at this point, but I'm just showing it to you right now. If you're familiar with WordPress, this is where the WordPress stores the database name, the database user, the database password, and then the localhost. This is usually kept localhost. The site URL is also there. And then, okay. So what I'm going to do, because they don't want this database, like I explained to you earlier, there are two databases that we're looking at, the new 12 and then this one, the FIS and the new 12. And since the client decided that, this is not the correct database, we are going to switch to the other one. And in order to switch, I don't have an idea what the password is, right? I don't have an idea. I don't have an idea what the user is for that database, but I do know the name. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go inside cPanel, and I'm going to go inside the MySQL databases, and I'm going to create a new user there. Okay. So this is the MySQL databases. Just scroll down and then add a new user. So I'm just going to call it, what do I call it? New fix. Okay, new fixed. And the password, I'm just going to call it new fixed 123. Hope that's okay. Okay, new fixed 123. Okay. So I just got a notification. Did you see that in Woo Assist? That there's a new message. So let me check. You will know because there's a gray or there's a blue or gray. Usually it's blue if you're involved. It's gray if someone else is involved. So I'm just going to check on it to see if they need me for anything, but it's Anthony, not me. So that's totally fine. Okay. So this is where we will communicate again every day. Most of the time, they will not message you unless there's anything they need. And then another tip, by the way, while we're here on HipChat, if ever you need to go out, okay, if ever you need to go out, just type in the Woo Assist group. Like there's somewhere you need to go to, like what Carl did here. He says, at all, stepping out a bit will resume later in the evening. So just type
at all, so everyone receives it. Okay, and then start typing your message, and that's it. And everyone does that. I mean, Carl does that, Sheila does that, everyone does that. If ever you need to, go with your family or eat or have lunch, just message here, need to go out. Or if there's a personal emergency, I mean, it's totally fine, you know. And so that's just a sideline, a side comment, not totally critical, but I hope that will help. And then what I'm gonna do, let's go back to the databases. Okay, and I'm just gonna note it down. The new database that I created, database user. So you need to include this, FIS UK EU underscore new fixed. So that's included, FIS UK EU underscore new fixed. And the password is newfix123. I'm just gonna repeat that because I'm really paranoid. In case I delete something or my cat deletes one of the logins, at least I still have 2 copies of it. Okay, and then we're gonna create the user. And click on go back. And then, so it now appeared here. And then the next step is to add the user to that database. So the database we want, or the user we want is new fixed. And then the database we want to assign this user to is FIS UK EU underscore FIS. And then click on add. So I think that is correct. Let's see. Yeah, this should be correct. Okay, so we're just gonna add it. And I'm also gonna note this down here. That the database is this is the database name. This is the database user, and this is the password. Okay. And then when you add it for WordPress, usually click on all privileges. So WordPress can do all the things that it needs to do. So make changes. Okay. And I think that's done. So this is a new interface for me, so I'm not that familiar with it yet. So what I'm just gonna do is I'm just gonna copy the name and then replace the name here, and then copy the database user, replace the database user there, and then copy the password and put it there, and then click Save Changes. And I hope this works. I hope this works. So let's check the website now. The website is fis-uk.eu, so I'm just gonna check that out. So a lot of the time, we don't know if our solution works, and that's totally fine. It's part of the debugging. And one of the things that you need to also do is to clear your browser cache. So in this case, you can go private window, or you can go in Google Chrome incognito mode. I wonder if this is the correct one. Yeah, it should be updated though. But let's check in the WP options if that's normal. The blog name is like this. FIS Information Systems UK Limited. The blog description is like this. So I wonder why it's showing just another WordPress blog. So that's weird. And let's look at the new 12. Maybe it's just a cache issue. I don't know. So it might need a little bit of troubleshooting. Is this the one? Fish-UK blog description. Looks okay. And you know what? I'm just gonna go inside and see what I can do here. Yeah, there's a chance this is not because it looks the same. It actually looks the same, but let me see. Does it have all the contents that we need? Just IT outsourcing. Yeah, it actually looks the same as yesterday, so that's what I'm concerned about. So what I'll do in this case, since I'm not sure if this is the correct website, so I'm just gonna copy this. I'm just gonna update the Kanban flow task. I'll go to my area. Okay, so I'm just gonna communicate to Marian, who is assigned for this project. And every project, there's a different project manager assigned. Hi, Marian. I just changed the database to FIS UK EU underscore FIS. And the client may need to clear his or her browser cache, or optionally can view the site under incognito mode or private browsing mode to view the latest one. Anyway, I'm just a little bit worried that this is not the right site, but we'll hear back from the client. Again, you ask if this is the correct site. If not, I can check the remaining 8. Also, any tip would help, like what to expect, what's the title that he remembers on the top. Any tip, how I can determine which is the right site, database to use. That info got deleted by the virus. Again, that info got deleted by the virus when the original got infected. So we don't know which is which. 7 databases. Okay. I hope this is the correct one. Okay, so just a real quick comment. And that's it. And I might copy this again just for good measure and then contact Marianne. I'm gonna not email, but chat Marianne here. So when she logs in, okay, just send her a message. And that's it. There's nothing else I can do for now but wait for the client response. And this is the important part. Now that the task is done, just note it down. 11:15 a.m. So that's around 10, 20, 35 minutes. And that's it. And you just keep adding to this. You just keep adding your other tasks. You just repeat the process. And at the end of the day, copy your end of day report. And then update the total billing hours here with the correct one. And then, try to reach the 6 hours per day in the next few days. If you can't reach it in the first day, that's okay because you're still watching this video, And then what else? I think that's it. Just copy this, put it in at the end of the day in Asana under your daily reporting. Click on that to-do list and then add it as a comment here. And then also at the end of the day, you want to update the Excel spreadsheet that's in Google Docs and just quickly update the number of hours. And I know that this may seem tedious at first. We're updating so many things. And one area that, it's a bit tedious. One area that you need to update also is this one. So I'll add 30 minutes to this. So 3 hours and 05. Save and close. And then I'm just going to drag this to for review so that they can take a look at it. Okay. So that's it. Add the time to Kanban flow, add the time to your end of day report, and then you need to have somewhere where you're totaling things, that your work hours for the day, and your target is 6 hours. So I just did 35 minutes of billable hours, and I'm just going to aim for 6 hours per day. Then after that, you can do admin tasks or read the books that assigned to you, or do your end of day report and then do your start of day report, So just as long as you meet the 6 billable hours or client working hours, and that's it. So thank you for watching this video, and I hope that this video will help you and many more future web developers who come in with the Woo Assist team. So welcome to the team, and do your best, and don't worry too much. It looks strict, but actually one of the things I notice is as long as you just follow the system, the project managers and Nick won't really be very strict with you. You have the freedom to go out, and if you need to, just message here, and you have the freedom to have a little bit of flexibility in your time, as long as most of the day you're online on the prescribed hours, so that if Nick or the project managers have any question, at least you can respond to them. And that's basically it. So thank you for watching this video.